Saab has secured a contract to upgrade Sweden's anti-ship missile systems, enhancing maritime defense, of course, in the Baltic Sea. The modernization will integrate advanced targeting and guidance system for improved precision and operational effectiveness. Saab plans to implement cutting-edge technology, but scaling production to meet defense timelines probably could challenge some supply chains. But this upgrade does strengthen Sweden's naval deterrence capabilities. It'll be good.
So this is a huge contract to modernize. They're going to have to make sure all the anti-ship missiles are integrated into a launcher module that's installed on a truck, and that launcher is integrated onto a truck so that it screams design. It screams testing to me. I'm sure Andrew will disagree, but
everything screams design to you, Brian. Always does. But I think you're missing the real problem on this one, because it's not just about design and testing integration between the launcher and the truck. The biggest challenge is actually making sure that every subsystem between the two, from the missile targeting to the launcher base, is fully operational under real world conditions, including that truck's movement and environmental factors. So yeah, you can test it all you want in the labs, but if it falls apart when the truck's actually bouncing through the Swedish streets or the Swedish terrain, which is pretty treacherous at times, you've got a problem that no testing loop is going to be able to save.
I agree with your challenge, but it's not the number one, because not all your testing can, be done in labs. Not all your testing can be done in real life, but the testing has to be there to make sure the trucks aren't negatively affected by the newly revamped cargo, making sure that the launches aren't going to be negatively affected by being on the launcher base that can move. It's going to require all of the real world testing, the physical testing, the lab testing to make sure that what you install is going to work correctly when the time comes.
Think about it, Brian. Testing's only as good as the variables that you're accounting for. And most simulations cannot replace the complexity of a real world scenario, like the uneven terrain, the vibrations, or even adverse weather conditions for that matter. So if this truck's suspension doesn't sync with the launcher's stability system, then precision targeting is becoming irrelevant. So add in the coordination between electronic and mechanical systems during high stress scenarios, and you've got a potential catastrophe if these aren't addressed at that integration phase.
So you're wanting real world scenarios to work correctly when the time comes, which is, correct me if I'm wrong, Greg, but that's exactly what I said. The suspension has to align with stability. So I feel like Andrew gets me here. These systems have to coordinate. So the solution is that testing loop integrated with design, integrated with the testing, with the simulations.
I always get you, Brian. Doesn't mean I agree with you. Always get you, though.
What are your fixes here, Andrew?
Two big areas for me. I think it speaks to both of us, which is product validation simulation. That's going to be right at the top of the list. So you can incorporate the environmental factors and movement-based scenarios into a digital twin to simulate the real-world stresses they're going to go on that whole truck launcher system. And then you've got your integration testing. So tie that simulation data directly into a continuous test loop during assembly, allowing those subsystems like the targeting and the stabilization to be recalibrated in real time.
So you're agreeing that you need simulation and testing
in the solution.
Yeah, I think we can chalk this one up. Greg, we had an Andrew and Brian just agreed. So
yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
Starting off on the right foot. I'm okay with that. That'll be good.
See you next week.